Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Dale. I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome to August. This seems like a fast moving month, not like that the days are moving fast, but that the energy feels like it's moving fast. And I want you guys to understand that this concept of believing in energy or understanding things that are outside of the norm of modern life, that is like the coolest area that you can be in, because if you think that that stuff is nerdy, then that's okay. I get it. I get it. But it's like what we have learned over time, and we can track this back through media, is that usually the cool kids, especially if you look back at media from our childhood, I would say from like the 80s and 90s, what we learned over and over and over again is that the kids who are the cool kids, they always have some sort of deep-seated trauma, or they were bullied, so they bully other people. And it's like the person who always um seemed like the nerd, who was like, I don't know, they were just like different from everybody else, that person ends up being the one that everybody sees by the end of the movie or by the end of the show was the one that was following their heart, and the other person was following their emotional trauma. Okay. So it's like, what side of history do you want to be on? Because it doesn't matter who you think you are. Your past is what dictates who you are in the light of your full capacity as a human on earth. Okay. And so I would just say that as we're moving into more chaotic times, because I was recently with my parents. I had spent some time with them at this cottage that we normally go to, or they normally go to it, and sometimes I get the opportunity to go there. But because they're boomers, it's like I have such a deep sense of appreciation for how I spend my own time, because when I'm with them, I see kind of like how boomers have been molded to. It's almost like they were the first generation to believe in lies, and that's through marketing, right? It's like through the concept of the the American dream and the white picket fence and all this and that. And that's why just have to look back through generations and why people got to be the way that they are, and then why they influence us in the ways that they have. Because if you don't take the time to look at it, you're only going to be stuck in the trauma spaces of what it caused in you, of well, I can't get past this because my parents made me do things like this. Or it's like, but you also have to understand what era your parents are still living within, and that is the one where they think that people tell them the truth, because that's when marketing and commercials first started, was in their lifetime. Do you understand that? It's like, I know that you know well, I guess TV, really, it started in their generation, maybe a little bit before them, but I don't think so. It's like when it became common to have TVs in the home, it was with their generation, okay? And I guess it depends on when your parents were born, but mine were both born in 49. And so they have gone through this huge shift of where there was a time when marketing was honest, because people had these new ideas, they had these new inventions, and they had a way to get it out, because industrialization was really booming, and other things were growing, like fast food places, like restaurants, McDonald's and stuff like that. I don't pay attention to Instagram much, but I see that I get notifications for it, and so every once in a while something will catch my eye, and it was like this weird psychedelic 1970s McDonald's commercial, and it's just so crazy looking. And you have to remember that that is where they grew up, okay? And so they still hold on to that. And so when I was watching TV with them, they're like watching the news and they're watching the weather. And it's like they were talking about the newscasters, or whatever you want to call these people. They are programmed to have a certain type of emotion as they're talking about the news. And so what they're doing with that emotion is that they're using the understanding that we now have, that we have mirror neurons in our brains that if they make a face like this, then you're going to make a face like this while you're watching it, okay? So they are manipulating emotions based on what they're showing to you and based on the context of like their voice and the way that it's being presented, that the story is told, okay? So I highly encourage you to learn from that, okay? We know better now, okay? We know better because the psychology is out there and there's so many podcasts and there's so much evolution. It's like you can't pretend like that stuff doesn't exist anymore. You can't be a bully and think that you're not being one and think that you are like the good guy, all right? And so that stems from like something in my own life, but I'll bring that up at a later time. I just wanted to say that when I feed you information, the information I'm giving you is like the ultimate truth that has proven itself to be real over decades, no matter what the trends shift, how the trends shift and how the platforms shift of how information is getting out there. So I really don't, I've never really been influenced by trends. I like to watch them. And then there's certain ones that I like to pick up on, but really I've always done what interested me. Okay. So it's like, you have to realize that we are this creature that is always judging others, because when we look at something we're like, I wonder why that happened, or I wonder why they do that, or I wonder why they choose this, or I wonder why they said it that way, or I wonder what they mean by that when they say it. It's like we are constantly searching for the truth, and that is what is different about the way that I speak, because even though I'm speaking English, a lot of times people can't understand that I'm saying the truth because they're so used to digging down deeper into layers of understanding, because we have this way that we are taught to speak. It's like when you go into a job interview, or this is like back when I was in high school and I was in a special business program called Finance Academy. And it was where we learned how to use Microsoft Office. And it was where we learned how to um, write resumes and do accounting and do job interviews. And we learned um, marketing and all kinds of stuff like business etiquette. And what you learn is it's like everything is putting on this performance so that you're making everything look more polished. And because we've gone through that for so long, we went through this period of like where everything started out with the boomers as like it was this sort of honest marketing. And then it led directly into dishonest marketing once they saw that, oh, marketing works and you might have a good idea for something, and then it gains you a lot of money. So then, like, the nefarious people get into the game and then they gain the same attention, right? So the truth gets lost in things. But I want you to understand how to pick up on what is true, and the best way to do that is by understanding the emotions of what you're feeling and that they signify something. Okay. That the train always rattles the thoughts out of my head, but the point of what I'm getting to is that like taking the high road is always the best way to live life. And it's seen as nerdy, right? It just is. It is. And yet we also watch movies and things like that where the heroes are the ones that have always taken the high road. But in actual real life, it's like you also have to look at it in terms of like when you're watching movies, it's like how many people become the hero in the movie. It's like there's all these people that are in the movie, and it's usually the focus is just on one person. So you have to understand that you're not all going to take the high road. That's just the way that it is. That's just the way that life cycles. It's like energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And so your energy that runs through you right now, that animates you in this physical life, it's like just it's only temporary. Your body's only temporary. The energy exists forever, but you have to realize that you are nothing more than this ever changing thing. And that's why everybody who's ever known you knows you to be somebody different, because every experience that you have is going to be unique um, with every individual. So you just, you have to stay true to yourself. And trying to think of different ways to exemplify this, but this isn't the video to do it. So I'm just going to say that as we are approaching something called Lionsgate, which is what spiritual people call the 8/8 portal, which is the August 8th portal. Um, the Leo energy is like very fiery. It's a fire sign, it's a fixed sign. It's like it's very, very strong. And so you get the benefit of that impact on your life. Now, if you think that that's fucking nerdy, then go ahead. You don't get to benefit from the impact of that because you're not going to flow with it. But if you I think the benefit of people watching my channel is that even if they're like people who don't like me, it's this is my hope is that um I love the concept of people who don't like me watching this channel because they're still getting the words in their subconscious that I'm saying, okay? And that's all I've ever wanted people to do is like whether you like me or not, I promise you that I am always going to tell you the truth for as much as I know it. And that's because I am an observer. It's like I'm not much of a talker because I'm not going to waste my energy talking about like lies, which is essentially what small talk is. That's what watching the news is. It's like all these it's not so much that they're just straight up lying to you, but that they are manipulating you. And that is why we have problems creating like world peace because we can't create it between different generations or different cultures or whatever, because you are trained to think that your way is the right way. Okay. And your ego loves that. Your ego loves to be right. Okay. That includes all of us. That is me too. So, my ego is always like wanting to do things based on willpower. And so nothing has ever really worked out for me based on willpower in terms of like um it's almost like there's a way to get to a goal and there's a plan on how to do that, right? And I'll follow that plan. And when the plan goes off course, I'm like, nah, I'm going to strong arm my way through that and I'm going to willpower myself to the end of it. And it's like I'll learn one lesson after another how that is not the way it works. It's like I might get to an end result, but it's not the way that it was supposed to be. It's not like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow like they say it's going to be, or just like achieving the end result that they say you're going to if you do the right thing. And do you know why? It's because there's like one thing that's being said, but then there's the actions that people are taking, which are completely different from the thing being said, right? It's like when the boss comes around, everybody pretends to be doing the right thing. You're not just gonna like steal office supplies right in front of your boss, right? But how many people do it? How many people do it? Probably most people. And anyway, my my brain is doesn't do really well at focusing itself on one thing. So right now I'm just thinking of lots of different things, but actually it's almost like nothing, not one thing is like solidifying as the concept, but the concept is that don't believe what you see, believe what you feel. And then when it comes to like believing what you see, believe in the actions that people are taking, not their words, okay? And if you want to know the type of person that they are over the long term, then go back. Like see what they were doing. Isn't that what politicians do? They try to like dig up dirt from the past to say like this person, you can't trust them now in the present moment because look at what they did in their past. Well, it's like if you want to know if somebody is in alignment, then you don't have to listen to what they're saying at all. You just have to look at their actions, okay? And you'll be able to tell. So, when it comes to like moving into this sort of new place in life that we're in, which is a place where we are going back to things like ancient studies, right? Ancient, like astrology and numerology. It's out there. You don't have to believe me, but it's definitely out there. And I feel like you can figure out examples of what I'm talking about because where people are talking about, like, oh, there's all these planets in retrograde. And so that is a thing right now, is that there have been like four or something planets in retrograde. And I don't follow it enough to know. I just know that I I procure the content that I want to watch because I let the algorithm feed my content like on YouTube because I am not going to watch what is on TV. I can't stand it anymore. It's like I'm just not going to be marketed to because nobody ever shows me the proof that I want to see to show me that they have a product worth investing in or that they are a person worth investing in unless they are. And usually those people aren't really trying to sell anything other than like if they wrote a book based on their experience. And they will usually tell you like that their experience is not the way that you are going to get there, but they can tell you what theirs was and they can tell you the path of which they took that might be helpful for you, but the way that it shows up for you is going to be very different. So anyway, um, we are opening up into this sort of portal of where energy is really moving forward. And that is this Lion's Gate thing. And I'm telling you that take advantage of this opportunity. And if you feel fired up by something, you get this small opportunity to action on that energy. Okay. And if you don't take that opportunity, then you get stuck somewhere lower than where you want to be, you know? And like you can be stuck in your illusion. Enjoy that. It's like you'll have temporary happiness, but it's not fulfillment. All right. So, I guess that's all I really am trying to say today is that the energy is shifting. Um, feel it within yourself because if you're getting your attention grabbed by the things that want your attention, which is stuff like the news and TV and clickbait and all that stuff, then that is what is getting the investment of your energy. And the investment of your energy is way more um, abundant than your money. Okay. The things that are trying to get your energy because money is just another physical manifestation of what your energy is and where you direct it. All right. So I'm just going to leave it at that today. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you are looking forward to this energy. And I hope you're keeping focused on the things that you care about in life. Okay. I love you. I'll see you again soon. Bye.